Very often I get asked, which fight of mine am I most proud of? And yes, defeating Lerdsila was something special. Yes, defeating Kevin Ross, getting those belts, those were all big things. But this fight in particular for me was the one that I was most proud of in the moment because I knew that Mosab Amrani was #1 in the world. He had defeated Yuta Kubo, who was the 2-time K1 champion, and then he knocked out, or knocked down with body shots, Liam Harrison, who is considered by many one of the best foreign fighters in the world for Muay Thai. So this fight going in, Mosab was #1. I was ranked 2, 3, 4, I can't remember. So we're gonna watch it together today. And I'm just gonna give you my thoughts. And this is just an awesome fight. We're coming up on 8 years ago that this took place. Fortunately for me, my body's feeling as good as ever. Feeling strong, I take care of myself, so that all works out nicely. But Mosab, that left body hook, that's how he put down Liam Harrison. And you'll see in the first round, just a little bit of struggle trying to figure out how to deal with it. But I conditioned my body really, really well. Nice head movement there. And I made sure that if he did land it, that I wouldn't crumple. Again, good head movement, crowding the space once I'm done. We knew the first round would be hectic against Mosab because he likes to finish fights. He likes to throw power shots. This is where I shouldn't be. Nice body shot there from him. As I was circling out, he still got me. Another one there. Another one. He actually asked me after the fight. He came up to me. We were sitting in the stands there watching the main event, which was just after us. We were co-main event. And he's just like, dude, how did you take those body shots? He's like, I thought you were going to go down for sure. And I just said, I trained my stomach. A lot of sit-ups, a lot of body conditioning, and just put myself through. That was a nice little cross there, just kind of glazed off him. But really, this is where I don't want to be. And my corner told me that when I came back. Get your back off the ring ropes. That's not where you want to be in this fight. One thing that he's really good at is getting those counters back. Like, I think I've landed some shots and the exchange is done and he'll still throw back. They're really, really particular about the spinning back fists. I thought that was an awesome one. The big thing that we knew in this fight was you can't let Amrani dictate the pace and let him roll over you. So even though he's bringing a hard pace and he's trying to get a fast finish like he did with Liam, we knew that if we backed up and tried to hide, that it wouldn't serve me well. So that's why I'm putting pressure on. We also knew that his gas tank was not as good as mine, and this was a 5-round fight. So I had to make sure that I tired him out in the first couple rounds. So good, energetic first round. This fight was actually nominated for Fight of the Year within Glory. We lost to Nikki Holtzkin and Joseph Valtellini. Fair enough. Those guys threw down. And with that finish and everything at the end, seems like it's okay that they won. But I thought we put on a really good fight. High pace the whole time. Great technique. So right now they're just letting me know you need to make sure that you don't let them push you back to the ring ropes. I don't always remember a lot of stuff years and years later, the advice my corner gave me, but I do remember that one just because it was so pivotal in the fight. So going into round number 2, same idea. Just keep a fast pace, keep those hands up, don't get clipped. And then in round 3 and 4, we'll drag him into the deeper waters, see how he fares then. Comes out in that southpaw stance. Both just throwing down. I knew I had to get respect. And he's also more of a wild fighter. And if you can at least keep your hands up, the chance of like a clean shot landing out of skill was less likely. You just saw a slip there from me. Sometimes these canvases, they put those logos down and the canvases are not grippy anymore because of the logos. I actually fought in China one time, and every logo that I touched was so slippery that I was like, I can't even kick. Like every time I kick, I think I'm gonna fall. And I know the companies need to make money, but I don't like it. It's just bombing shots. I think in the fray there, I knew he hadn't gone down, but sometimes you put your hand up and you can get a knockdown call. A little bit of a cheeky thing to do, but I sort of learned that by watching the K1 Max fighters. They just always raised their hand when the other guy fell, and sometimes they would score a knockdown off it. Mosab cut. I think it might have been from a clash of heads, but you can see his mouth is open already. And it did that one landed on my cup. I remember that. Did a pretty decent job sort of rolling with the shots when he did land, or just getting that little head movement out of the way. Just like that, big uppercut, but just a little lean back. It's not my normal style. Got a little bit of a glitchiness happening here. That's annoying. It's okay. Boom, big left hook. But again, he threw back. He doesn't take a shot and stop. He takes a shot and he gives one back. That's a nice round kick to front kick stop there. Nice catch, but then I realized, I just got warned for catching his leg, so I better not do that again. You don't want to take 2 back-to-back warnings. Usually you can get away with it, but if you do it again, then they're going to take a point. This is definitely a frantic round right now. Still trying to push the pace, but very, very close. First round was probably his with those body shots. This one's up for grabs. Nice combo work there. His punch is whizzing by. At least we're both getting our head off the center line. Ooh, a little scissor knee on the entry there. Just a little fall. He pumps his hand up. I actually know the scoring, obviously, and I remember it. I won that round, but the first one on the judges' scorecards, I didn't. Just a little touch of heads. I have a tendency to do that in my fights. Myself and other guys, we just throw our heads forward, trying to get on the inside. Some fights I do it, sometimes I don't. Just right there, just because we're both coming forward. Those big, deep breaths. See how my breath is so controlled compared to his? This was in Dubai, by the way. Big trip over there. From Victoria to San Francisco, over to Washington, D.C., and then a 13-hour flight to Dubai. We were talking, I'm pretty sure that was over 30 hours from the time we left the airport here to the time we got there. Round number 3, he comes out southpaw again. It's funny, and then he switches. Nice little uppercut there. Another left hook lands. Working away on those legs. He's winging those shots, but I'm doing a really good job right now. Well, not so much here, but a really good job beforehand controlling the distance. There, I just got caught in the fray. This is definitely a guy that you want to fight 5 rounds with. Some people, it's better not to fight them in 5 rounds. You're better off doing short, and it's always good to try and time it in your favor. You know, you hold off a fight or something. Ooh, big cross there as he walks straight in. And I remember at that point being like, no, look how hard he throws. He falls down. That's probably the ground as well, like the canvas we already talked about. But I remember in that point where I landed the cross, I'm like, oh, my cross is landing really well. Maybe I should just start letting it go a little bit more. A little uppercut there as he enters. Body shot, but he throws back. He's always willing to engage, even after taking a shot. I'm always impressed. I was just cheeky. Yeah, I should have let go. I knew it. But every time he has to get up, that's more energy. And I'm resting the whole time. That one sort of wobbled him, but he's an interesting dude. We knew beforehand that he doesn't get wobbled, but he looks like he gets wobbled. And I think it's mostly because he just gets really tired and his legs aren't under him anymore. Like just like that, just a little offbeat with his stepping. Take a little warning there for throwing after. The ref calls for the break. His, nice body shot there. His overhand to body hook is so fast. The time between the two of them is crazy fast. I mean, all these rounds are, nice cross again, are very close. It's not like I'm running away with anything. A lot of it based on sort of nice little shoulder roll there. So he's the one now who's having to back up. That was the round where I'm like, okay, I got that one. Second one I knew was close. But that one I went, oh, okay, I got it. But then the problem was in that situation when I walked back, I know I have to win round 4 and I have to win round 5 because round 2 was kind of So it puts you in that situation where you're like, okay, these are must-win rounds, and that's never a fun situation. It's much nicer to be ahead, being like, okay, it doesn't matter if I win this one or not. So many cuts on my head now, and they're all in that zone. I don't know if that was a punch or not. I know his was a headbutt when we clashed. I think I have something like 50, 60 stitches over around my eyebrows at this point. It looks pretty good though. It's not like I'm a big bunch of scars everywhere. That really depends on how well people stitch you up, by the way. All right, here we go. Round number 4. This is where we knew that I could start coming out and he'll tire. Not on the first minute, obviously, he just had a minute break, but we start getting deeper. That's when I could land some big shots. Good start from me. Finding the target, look at that big cross. It's impressive he stayed up, honestly. I think they show a replay of that when we get in between rounds. But he was on one foot as he hopped backwards. Oh, good low kick. Just working away, snapping that head up. Body hook's always been one of my favorites, but he's just so dangerous when he lets his go. So those high hands, they've saved me so many times. I talk about it on the channel very frequently. You guys know that. Those high hands, even if you miss a shot, you blink in the moment, you're going to save yourself. just by having them up where they should be. Like those ones, you can tell I'm seeing them. I'm just kind of rolling with them. But when you don't see them, it's just amazing to have those hands up. It's MMA there. What I would like to see at this point, if I could go back and, talk to myself, be like, this is what we need to do. He's fairly susceptible to the low kicks, and I've hit him a couple times now where he almost looks like the low kick kind of not buckles him, but shifts him. Letting more of those go because he's just not checking. But when you start getting into the boxing, it's easy to get caught there because it takes so much less energy. Hucking up those high kicks. It's tiring. Good, like that one there again. Kind of wobbled on it. Close punches there. Head just getting snapped. Ooh, that one wobbled him. That was an actual, okay, now he's stunned. Since this, I think I've learned a little bit more about how to damage people. Because right now I'm not throwing with enough intent to put him down. I think at the end here I might sit in a little bit more, but he's recovered by now. Big body shots. Good finish to the round. Not so much for me, but just in general for all the fight fans. And if you guys watch that last little bit there, you notice that little shoulder clash. I was walking by and I was making my way back to my corner and he was making his way to his, and we're both kind of like, you know what? We're not going to shift our shoulders. That was just my mindset. I'm like, he's coming at me. Normally, if I was in the street, I would just shift my body. I'm like, no, I'm just going to show him that I'm not scared. I'm not intimidated. That one there. I'm going to just stay up. 1 foot. Boom. That's balance. Tough dude to take that shot. And to maintain his balance on 1 foot. And especially not to go down off that. That was right on the jaw. So you could easily assume at this point, not knowing that I got the second round, maybe he got it, that it's 2 rounds apiece. Like I said, I got the second round. If I would have known that, would I have fought differently? Probably not. Probably still would have gone after the high pace in the 5th round, just because if you get knocked down, it's good to have that extra round in the book. Like the ref getting upset there. You're in too long. I appreciate that. I like when they don't give people extra breaks. Happens quite often. Sometimes try and time in between rounds and see if it's actually a minute, and it's not. Now he's throwing wild. And my brother told me that. He said, I remember him saying that too. He's like, he's going to come and he's going to try and KO you. Be really careful the first 30 seconds to a minute. And just look how hard he's throwing. Because he's just had that recovery point or that time. But again, I don't want to back up. I don't want to give him the ability to take over the pace of the fight. And this is where having crisp technique makes a difference. Having wild technique takes a lot of energy. So while it equals more power, it doesn't always benefit you if you're going for a full fight. He probably didn't think we were going to go a full fight. I bet you, especially after he landed some of those body shots. But I bet even before, after, knocking out a number of guys in Glory, he probably didn't think that would happen. Because I just don't look like a guy who's maybe is durable. I always get warned, but I keep my elbow really bent, so I'm coming around with glove. Last round, you can tell it's a little bit more sloppy. He's more sloppy because he's tired. I'm having a little bit of trouble keeping that technique just as crisp as I want. Still looks pretty good there though. It was just that low kick was a little sloppy looking. Not a big fan of that. Even right there, that's me on a break. Like I'm in a certain zone, but I'm taking a break at the same time. Just resting there. Stupid axe kick. So again, it's a close round, but I'm definitely winning this at this point. I don't think there's any argument there. But knowing that I have the fight in the bag by now, do you think I'm going to slow down? No. Right in there. Still throwing the fancy stuff. It's one of my strengths. Mixing it up, throw all the techniques. Throwing right to the end. Flying knee. I remember that one actually landed and I just saw his head do a little clunk. Yeah, that was the fight that I was most proud of in my career. Like I said, not because it was the best fight ever. I mean, it was a darn good fight, but more just because who Mosab was in that moment. And I feel like a couple of the guys that I've fought have never done crazy well after they fought me. Not saying that I was the reason, but they were on top. They were the man to beat, and then I beat them, and they didn't get back to that high level again, like number one. Mosab, I thought we might do a rematch, but he ended up going and fighting Sergey Adamchuk. After Adamchuk defeated me, he lost to Adamchuk, then I went and defeated Adamchuk after. So yeah, I just thought it'd be fun to sit down. I wanted to watch that fight again anyway, and I thought it'd be fun and you guys might enjoy it, to just see my thoughts on this awesome fight and the one I'm most proud of throughout my career. So we'll call it there, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. If you haven't already, join the channel, get subscribed. I will see you guys back here soon for another episode.